Welcome to Traveler's Tales. I am your host, Greg Alonzo. Today I will be your guide through history as we take a look at In Search of the Ark of the Covenant. Before we begin, just a quick reminder that we post new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, with special editions on Thursdays. Moving right along, mythology tells us one thing, while archaeology tells us another. Did the Ark of the Covenant truly exist? Was the Ark destroyed when Israel fell to foreign invaders? If the Ark really exists, where can it be found? Today we will answer these questions as we take a look at this inimitable gift from God to Moses and the Israelites. The Ark of the Covenant, also known as the Ark of Testimony or the Ark of God, is a legendary artifact believed to be the most sacred relic of the Israelites. Let's take a step back for a moment. What exactly is an ark? By definition, an ark is a box. In the Bible, the ark is described as a wooden chest, and this chest is covered in pure gold with an elaborately designed lid called the mercy seat. According to the book of Exodus, the ark contained 2 stone tablets of the 10 Commandments. According to the New Testament of Hebrews, the ark also contained Aaron's rod and a pot of manna. The biblical account relates that approximately 1 year after the Israelites' exodus from Egypt, the ark was created according to the pattern given to Moses by God. This event occurred when the Israelites were encamped at the foot of Mount Sinai. Thereafter, the gold-plated acacia wood chest was carried by its slaves, the Levites, approximately 2,000 cubits, which is roughly 800 meters or 2,600 feet, in advance of the people when on the march. It is also interesting to note that the ark had a golden lid which was ornamented with 2 golden cherubim. Why is this seen as interesting? God spoke to Moses from between the 2 cherubim on the ark's cover. A detailed description of how the ark was to be constructed can be found in the book of Exodus 25:10-22 and also 37:1-9. The biblical account continues that after its creation by Moses, the ark was carried by the Israelites during their 40 years of wandering in the desert. Whenever the Israelites camped, the ark was placed in a separate room in a sacred tent called the tabernacle. When the Israelites, led by Joshua toward the Promised Land, arrived at the banks of the River Jordan, the ark was carried in the lead ahead of the people. In this way, the Israelites were signaled when to advance. During the crossing, the river grew dry as soon as the feet of the priests carrying the ark touched its waters. The Jordan then remained dry until all of the people passed into the new land. As memorials, 12 stones were taken at the place where the priests had stood. Since childhood, we were all taught about the ark and the Battle of Jericho. We know all the stories of the immense power of the ark, yet no one save the Israelites controlled its said power. According to the biblical narrative, a few years later the elders of Israel decided to take the ark out onto the battlefield to assist them against the Philistines. This was because they had been recently defeated at the Battle of Ebenezer. Once again the Israelites were defeated, and this time they lost 30,000 men, and the ark was then captured by the Philistines. The Philistines took the ark to several places in their land, and with each location, misfortune befell them. At Ashdod, the ark was placed in the temple of Dagon, yet upon entry to the temple, the Philistine priests found the statue of their god broken and on the ground. The people of Ashdod were then smitten with tumors, and a plague of rodents covered the land. Bubonic plague? The affliction of tumors also spread to the people of Gath and Ekron. After the ark had been among them for 7 months, the Philistines, on the advice of their diviners, returned it to the Israelites. The Philistines were also quick to make offerings of God. In the days of Saul, the ark was kept in an abode in Kiriath Jearim for some 20 years. In those days, neither Saul nor the people were accustomed to consulting the ark. However, in the days of David's reign, the ark was brought to Zion. The king proposed building a temple for the ark. Then David appointed the Levites to minister before the ark. Due to internal strife and Absalom's conspiracy, the ark was whisked away to safety until it was returned to Jerusalem. During his reign, Solomon worshipped after his dream in which God promised him wisdom. During the construction of Solomon's temple, a special inner room named Kodesh HaKodashim, which means the Holy of Holies, was prepared to receive and house the ark. Once the temple was dedicated, the ark containing the original tablet of the Ten Commandments was placed therein. When priests emerged from the holy place, the temple was filled with a cloud for glory, for the Lord had filled his house. What then happened to the Ark of the Covenant? Was it taken by the Babylonians when they destroyed Jerusalem and Solomon's temple? Or was the Ark of the Lord taken to safety only to be lost in time? In part 2, we take a look at what archaeologists believe happened to the Ark and some possible locations, if it does in fact still exist. Thank you for joining us for this special edition of Traveler's Tales. Until we meet again at the crossroads of folklore and fact, Kartistos.